is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. Forgot to do the episode 3 preview for the House of the Dragon. Let's check this out.
The road ahead is uncertain, but the end is clear. Aegon will be king. He's the firstborn son of the king.
You will be with your own child sooner than late.
I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra!
None of it needs be this way in truth. No one's here for me.
Princess!
The crab feeders dug in for siege on Bloodstone while his men sabotage our fleet. The matter of the stepstones is regrettably urgent.
Crabs will soon dine on all of us. We are losing.
Dragon!
I like this because it's going to move ahead into the story of what we already just found out at the end of episode 2, and it's showing Viserys and his son kind of like moving the story along, probably, you know, a year from what we've just seen in the last episode, where he has his little boy and Aegon, and we already know what's going to really all take place eventually, but we're just seeing it unfold. That's why I can't wait for this. And the other side I don't really know is Daemon Targaryen and Corlys, as they're both saying we're losing this battle, you know, as they both agreed to try to take on the crab feeder to take him out. And at the end, Dragon reigns supreme. Caraxes comes down, and it's like, we're about to make sure Daemon is taken over. And I think that he's going to get crowned King of the Stepping Stones, or King of the Stepstones. And that's kind of where he's going to be like, stroke his ego a lot more. So yeah, I'm ready for this. But I want to go over to Think Story and see about this episode breakdown. So let's check out Think Story and their episode 3 trailer breakdown.
HBO's preview for episode 3 has dropped with a great sneak peek just how far in time we're going and what we can expect. Warning, this is a full book and trailer spoiler video, so if you're wanting something more non-spoilery, check out my weekly episode breakdowns, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, as well as for the HBO trailer. Now let's get into it. A pretty empty small council with the dejected King Viserys watching his daughter Rhaenyra saunter off. If there's one big theme this preview has, it's how Rhaenyra deals with the shocking news that her dad will wed her best friend, Alicent Hightower. It'll be interesting if they actually show us this wedding, or if we simply fast forward about 1.5 to 2 years from the events of episode 2. This is my rough estimate, considering we'll see Alicent and Viserys' first child, Aegon II, named of course after the first Targaryen king, Aegon the Conqueror, the same Aegon who had the dream about a great evil sweeping the land during a long winter. Rhaenyra is wearing a really interesting dress here. Is it one of her normal ones, or is it for some special event? The king himself also carries with him the cat's paw dagger, which he held suspiciously close when he told Rhaenyra about Aegon's dream. Otto tells his daughter that Aegon will be king. This would go against what Viserys told Rhaenyra in episode 2, that she would remain his heir. I'm wondering if we're at Driftmark here, the home of the Valyrians. This certainly doesn't look like the Red Keep, and there are these sea snake type sculptures on the walls and cups. Bonus points if you caught the little doll here, likely for Aegon. You'll also notice Alicent here with her hair in this type of braid, the same braid we'll see her in while the king shows off Aegon to the crowd. So I think we'll see the king and queen going around the realm to show the child off, proving that everything is well and good. We aren't exactly sure where this takes place. There's almost no descriptive banners. However, take a look at 2 of the prominent men watching Aegon paraded about. One we've met, the King's Master of Laws, Lord Lionel Strong, so I don't think it's that far of a stretch to think that the man beside him with a cane is one of his sons, Sir Loras Strong. He was, after all, nicknamed Loras Clubfoot because his feet were twisted at birth. The historians who wrote the accounts found in Fire and Blood find Loras to be one of the most baffling characters, whose allegiances are never fully known. This makes him an especially dangerous character. I like this shot here of young Aegon being passed to his father, where you can make out he's been playing with a little toy dragon. From what I've read, Aegon II will be portrayed by 3 different actors, one as an infant, a child, and an adult. Aegon will ride Sunfire, who we haven't seen in the show yet, but whom we've seen in the previews. Rhaenyra here looking a bit dejected in what appears to be the small council chamber. You can make out some white hair and possibly a dagger hilt, so I'm wondering if this is part of the first shot we saw earlier. Whatever it is, it does not look like good news for Rhaenyra. The king feeds his son in the royal carriage while telling Rhaenyra she will soon be with her own son. Rhaenyra will have her first child with Corlys Velaryon's son Laenor roughly 7 years after the birth of Aegon II. We've seen the two together in the previews, however it looks like in this episode the writers are setting up Rhaenyra's romance with Sir Criston Cole. Rhaenyra will tell her father that she does not wish to marry, but she, like him, is bound to duty. I wonder if this scene is where he tells her that she is to wed Laenor. Remember, we did see Otto and Alicent at Driftmark, the home of the Velaryons, so it's possible all of this is connected. Bonus points if you caught the little cup for our cupbearer beside her in the carriage. Alicent tells what is likely Rhaenyra that things don't have to be this way, hinting that their friendship is on the rocks. This looks to take place at the weirwood tree at the Red Keep, which is ironic since that's where we saw their friendship at its strongest. Rhaenyra tells her that no one is here for her as we catch a glimpse of Sir Criston Cole watching her ride off. Sir Criston is tasked with Rhaenyra's protection, so obviously he goes after her. We've seen a better shot of this in the season trailer. Unfortunately for Rhaenyra, she's stalked by a wild animal, a boar by the looks of it. A boar is also what mortally wounded Robert Baratheon. There also appears to be some armor here on the bottom left. Sir Criston will remove a sword from it, but it's unclear whether this person or armor was dead/here beforehand. We've seen in the trailer that Criston and Rhaenyra spend the night by campfire, where Rhaenyra asks him,
"Do you think the realm will ever accept me as their queen?"
The relationship between Rhaenyra and Sir Criston is extremely interesting because the book offers multiple scenarios on how their love turns to poison. In one, Sir Criston rejects Rhaenyra on account of his Kingsguard oath that he is never to wed or have a partner, and in the other, it's Rhaenyra who will end up rejecting Sir Criston, with Septon Eustis stating that a Targaryen was meant to be more than a wife of a sellsword. So I'm super interested which direction the writers will take this. Corlys warns that crab feeder Craghas Drahar has dug his heels in on Bloodstone, the largest of the islands in the Stepstones. We also get our first shot of Corlys in this badass armor. This appears to be Bloodstone, under siege. Giant balls of flame from siege equipment on the island suggest the ships here are Corlys's. To the left we can make out a dragon. This could either be Daemon's Caraxes or Laenor's Sea Smoke. The king here prepares to jab a bloody spear. I wonder if he'll be killing that boar that attacked Rhaenyra, or perhaps this is something else entirely. Corlys and his men, along with Daemon, use these pieces to plan out their attack. Behind Daemon you can make out Corlys' son, Laenor, who we last saw in episode 1 as a child. What ensues is a giant battle between the Valyrian-Daemon alliance and Craghas Drahar, backed by the Triarchy. Corlys exclaims that they're losing, and we even see Daemon shot with an arrow. It seems like one of those all is lost moments until a dragon comes in to turn the tides. I actually think this is Sea Smoke, who is ridden by Laenor. This doesn't look like Caraxes to me, and we saw Daemon injured by an arrow, but it also makes me question why Daemon didn't just ride in with his dragon in the first place. Perhaps he wants to prove himself in battle without the help of one. That way, no one can ever claim the only reason he's as powerful as he is because of his dragon. Corlys did say to him last episode that the Stepstones would be the perfect opportunity for him to prove himself. Another question I have is whether in this episode we'll see the end of Craghas Drahar. Har. The War of the Stepstones was a 2-year series of battles. In the book, Daemon ends up beheading Kragus with his sword, Dark Sister. What I want to know is how long the Stepstones arc will go in the series. One of the trailers actually shows Prince Daemon returning to King's Landing holding what appears to be a hammer. Could this be the same hammer Kragus Har used to nail his victims? Corlys crowned Daemon the King of the Stepstones and Narrow Sea after his victories there, but the book has Daemon giving up that crown to Viserys, bending the knee, and the two reconcile with Daemon getting a seat back on the small council. So that's it for the episode 3 preview. I can't wait until next week when I'm proven completely wrong. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you haven't seen my episode 2 breakdown, be sure to check that out. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember...
It's a Crispin, wasn't it?
Good. That was an interesting breakdown. I sit there and tell myself it's moving along the story. And just like he said, I don't know how long they're going to do the battle with the crab feeder. I think it might be, wrapping up in one episode, or it might last for another episode. But it's pushing the story along from Alicent and Viserys' marriage to have Aegon II. So it's pushing that story forward. But we're going to get, a back and forth traction, or is it all going to stay in place going up forward? So I'm here for it. I can't wait. Sundays is definitely the House of the Dragon. Subscribe to my channel, post a comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D. Dyson. Peace.